Is this class for week 3?
Hello, is this class for computers and computational thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this for week 3?
Don't know much. പൊത്തി വെച്ച മല്ലിക മുട്ട് പുത്തിടുക വെക്കത്തെ വിട്ട്.
Has the class started and is the teacher here? Hello? Hello? What is happening?
No,
I am
there is no
audible
teacher
right
here.
now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Are you the teacher?
Okay. Yes, so we'll start in 2-3 minutes more. We'll wait for a few more people to join, then we'll start at 6:05.
Okay, can I ask a little question to others right now? Because there is a problem happening while giving the graded assignment. क्या
What
तुम
is
में
your
से किसी और का भी जो ग्रेडेड असाइनमेंट है स्टैटिस्टिक्स का उसमें जो डायग्राम है वो धुंधले आ रहे हैं, ब्लर आ रहे हैं, लिखा हुआ जो है वो ब्लर आ रहा है?
हाँ मेरे भी आए ग्रेड असाइनमेंट प्लस.
क्या तुम लोग मेरे को यार व्हाट्सएप पे वो कहते हैं थोड़ी क्लियर इमेज भेज सकते हो, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो ग्रेडेड असाइनमेंट के लिए जो फोटोज वगैरह दी हुई हैं उसमें लिखा क्या है समझ ही नहीं आ रहा, इतना ब्लर लिखा हुआ है क्या?
वो एक्चुअली में थी पारुल मौसी की क्लास में.
हेलो, मैं बस ये कह रहा हूँ जो ग्रेडेड असाइनमेंट है स्टैटिस्टिक्स का उसमें जो डायग्राम्स है उसकी जो लेबलिंग है बहुत ब्लर आ रही है, पता नहीं चल
कैमरा
रहा
से
कि क्या
देखना
परसेंटेज है क्या नाम है, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है। तो एक बार तुम लोग एक बार भेज दो कि वो डायग्राम्स वगैरह या फिर कोई ऐसा तरीका है जिससे वो थोड़े ज्यादा क्लियर हो जाए, दिखने में यानी बहुत ज्यादा ब्लर हो रहा है।
किस ग्रेड असाइनमेंट की बात कर रहे हो? कौन सा, वीक 1 या वीक 2 वाला?
वीक 2 स्टैटिस्टिक्स का जो ग्रेडेड असाइनमेंट है उसमें जो डायग्राम है लेबलिंग बहुत ज्यादा ब्लर है।
ओके मैं देखता हूँ.
Is this class for week 3?
No, this class is for week 2 practice assignment. So, week 2 activity questions was done, I think, in last class, right? Can anyone confirm in last class activity questions were completed? No one joined? Okay, so the instructor told me that the activity question and theory part is done. So I will start with practice assignment. So before that, I am Manideepa. I'll be one of your course instructors for CT this term. Now, there are a few rules I would like you to follow is that while I am explaining a topic or if I am explaining a question, please hold your questions until the end of it. Okay. If you still have questions after I've explained, you can just raise your hand. I'll ask you.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I just want to say one thing that I'm not taking class in the mobile, and because of that, I might be not able to send some screenshot of my question. So I will be just telling the name of the question. Is it okay?
I did not understand. Repeat, please.
I am unable to take the screenshot of the questions because I am not on the mobile right now. So is it okay just for me
Why do
to
you
just tell
require
the question?
screenshot?
Huh?
Why do you require screenshot?
No, we have no, like in last class of mathematics, the teacher said we can send the screenshot on the chat of whatever question we want. Like अगर मेरे को किसी एक टॉपिक एक
You
क्वेश्चन
can
में
just let me know which assignment, which question number. Okay, I'll share and I can solve. Okay, yeah. And one more thing is that please no unnecessary, if you don't require, if you don't have any question regarding the topic that we are discussing at the point, please don't unmute. Okay. So only if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask. And chat is disabled. Okay, so now we can start. Let me share my screen. So we'll solve all the practice assignment questions for week
Excuse me,
2 today.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, you're audible. Go on.
Ma'am, where we can find that discussion portal which is provided by the team?
Google Forum, you're saying?
Discussion portal, ma'am. There is a discussion portal I have seen in many videos, YouTube videos. That
For foundation level students, we only have Google Forum. Okay.
where it
And
is?
also, I'm not able to join the Google Forum, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been given the link?
No, ma'am.
In the About Course section, the Google Forums link, which we click on, it gives an error.
what is the Google Forum once again?
Google Forum is a discussion space for students, so you can post your doubts there and discuss with
Ma'am,
your
where we
classmates.
can find that
There
link?
is no discussion forum for the city, ma'am.
It should be there on your portal, right? Is it not working, the link?
The link is not working. If we click on the link, it gives an error. Crash missing account.
Ma'am,
Okay,
my link
let
was
me
also not
ask.
working, so I questioned to support team, then they provided the link. So now it's working.
Yeah, so all of you who are having issues regarding some operational issues like this, you can just mail to support, okay? They'll get back to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start now. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay. So, see, week 1 and week 2, these are very basic weeks, right? So, till now, we have only discussed flowcharts and just very basic pseudocode. So, these questions are based on whatever is there in week 2, which is, I think, you learned how to find out the maximum, minimum, those things. So, these questions, whatever you find in the practice and graded assignment, is what you can expect in your exams also, quiz 1, quiz 2, and term. Okay. So, first question is saying, I hope all of you are familiar with the data sets. If you're not, you can just go to the portal and check out the data sets once. So the following procedure counts the number of students from Mumbai whose total marks are more than the average total marks from scores data set. So everyone knows what is scores data set. Scores data set is a data set of students, right? So there's like 30 cards. Each card has some individual student's information. So every card is unique, right? So every card has different fields, like the name of the student, there is a card ID number for every card, that is the unique field. Then you have the birth date of the student, other information like his marks in different subjects, total marks, date of birth, all of these things. Okay, so just go through the data set once before solving the questions. So it is saying that this procedure that is given here, that is this pseudocode, it counts the number of students from Wait, I'll just mute everyone for now. If you have a question, only then unmute.
Chili sauce.
Okay. So it counts the number of students from Mumbai whose total marks are more than the average total marks from the entire data set and stores it in variable A. So average T is a variable which is storing what? The average total marks of entire data set. Is all 30 students, the average total marks is stored in this average T variable. But the programmer may have made some mistakes in one or more steps. So we have to identify the mistake, right? So what are the variables we have? We have average T. It has average total marks of all students. And A is storing what? Number of students from Mumbai whose total marks are greater than this average T. Right. So first step is doing what? Arrange all cards in single pile called pile 1. So this is the basic step in every pseudocode we are going to do. Then you initialize variable A to 0. So initially A is 0. This is assignment operator. Then step 3, pile 1 is empty. then stop the iteration. That means if your file is exhausted, there are no more cards in your file 1, then you stop it. No more iterations. Right, but initially when you do the first iteration, obviously the entire file is full, so you pick up the top card. So read the top card in file 1. Now whatever that card you have picked, you check the city town in that card. So what is this operator equal to? This is your comparison operator, right? Single equals to is assignment, double equals to is comparison. So if the city town of that card you have picked is exactly equal to Mumbai, and the total is greater than average T, then add 1 to A and move the current card to another file called file 2 and then repeat from step 3. So what do you think is the mistake here? Is there any mistake?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
So let's see the options. So all of you are saying option D?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it
Yes,
looks
ma'am.
correct, right? In step 2, we are first initializing and then it is not getting reinitialized anywhere else. Then from step 3, you start your while loop, that is the iterations. Then you read the top card, always check the city and the total, if it is greater than average T, you add 1 to A. So it should work. So this is correct, option D, no mistake. Okay, question 2. The following pseudocode will take data from, again, same sports data set and counts the number of female students whose physics marks. See, just underline the keywords. Female students' physics marks are more than their chemistry marks, but less than their mathematics marks. And we stored that count of female students in a variable called A. Again, there might be some mistakes in this pseudocode. So again, we'll have to try to find them. Right. So what is our goal? A variable should be storing what? Count of female students, where the condition is physics marks should be greater than chemistry but less than maths. Right. So first step, again, you arrange all your cards in file 1. Then initialize variable 1 to A. A to 1. So is this correct?
No, ma'am.
Because
No,
you
ma'am.
cannot, before you
No,
have
ma'am,
seen a
no.
card, right? You haven't seen any cards yet. So you
It should
cannot
be zero.
start with initialization with 1.
Yeah.
So it should be
It should
zero.
be initialized from 0.
Correct. So first you should initialize with 0. Now let's see if there are any other mistakes because this is an MSQ, right? So step 2 is definitely wrong. Now if I change this to A equals to 0, let's say I fix it, then go for the next steps. File 1 is empty, stop the iteration, fine. Step 4, read the top card. Then step 5 is saying if gender is female, okay, we are trying to find count of female students. Maths marks is less than physics marks. So this condition is saying maths is less than physics, but our condition is saying physics marks is more than chemistry but less than maths. So is this condition correct?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
This should be
No, ma'am.
greater than, right? Again, once you have found this mistake, you don't need to check other mistakes in the same step because we already know this step is wrong. So if we reverse this, then we can add 1 to A, right? And chemistry marks is less than physics, that is following whatever is given in the question. Then step 6, you move the current card to another file and repeat from step 3. So step 2 and 5. So option A, option B.
And ma'am, there
These two
should
are
be
wrong.
gender equal to female, na?
So here we are not using comparison operator. Since it is pseudocode, you can use plain English. So they have written gender is F. That also works. Okay.
And if double equals to is mentioned, then it is correct.
No, if it is written like this, gender equal to F, right? This is not correct. It should be equal to. If you're checking, there should be 2 equal to's.
Yes, ma'am. Double equal to is mentioned, then it is correct.
Yeah, if double equal to is mentioned, then it is correct. If is mentioned, then also it is correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So should we go to next question? Anyone has any doubt here?
This isn't a
Yes, but
pseudocode,
it is
right?
from the second week questions.
Sorry, come again.
I have a doubt from the second week questions. Lecture number 1, question number 3.
Is that
Non-graded
activity?
activity, non-graded assignment. Wait a
Yeah,
second.
so activity questions were discussed in last class, right? So you can check that video once, or you can wait till the end of this class. Then I can take your other doubts after solving the PA.
So this is week 3 questions, na, right?
No, this is week 2 only. This is week 2 practice assignment.
Okay.
You mentioned that this is a pseudocode, but this isn't a pseudocode, right?
It is a procedure. It is not, see, pseudocode is basically what? It is
Written in curly brackets, right?
no, it is not always. See, this is more like the pseudocode representation of a flowchart. Okay.
Yeah.
So step by step we have written. Also, pseudocode can be written in the format you are saying, which we'll see in next questions. So here we can just call this a procedure. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you please explain the difference between single equal to sign and double?
Yeah. So single equal to means, see, if I have a variable a and I write a equals to 1. So this is your assignment operator. That means you are assigning the value 1 to the variable a. Okay. But if I write a equals to 1, I'm checking. Okay, if you're going to unmute without any reason, I'm going to have to mute everyone so that no one can unmute, right? And that won't be good. So see, last term also in CT, all of these things happened, and we don't want that repeat of that thing in this term. Okay, so don't do this, because whoever it is who does this, I'm going to take your ID and report it. So please don't do it. Okay. So if we take a conditional statement like if, and inside that I write if a is equals to 1, right? So what this means is this double equal to is your comparison operator. So you're comparing whether a is storing exactly 1 or not. Okay. So that's single and double equals to.
Ma'am, could you please explain the difference between the step-by-step procedure and the pseudocode?
They're basically the same thing. Okay, so pseudocode we are writing in a more structured manner, but both of them are, I mean, they have the same, what can I say, expressing the same thing. Okay, so we are trying to just show a procedure where we are using this course data set to find the count of female students with these conditions applicable. Now you can write it in this format, you can write it in the format of a flowchart, or you can write it in proper pseudocode format. So
Could you
pseudocode,
please give an example that
yeah,
shows the
there
pseudocode
are
format?
there are plenty of pseudocodes. Let me. I don't think in the initial weeks, yeah, this one. So this is a pseudocode. Okay. So pseudocode is written in this format. So here we are not using that step count or not writing that many English words actual, right? Although this is still pretty legible because it is mostly in English. It is not, pseudocode is nothing like a programming language. It is not having any particular syntax, right? It is plain English only, but it's more in a structured format than that step-by-step procedure that we saw. So this is actual pseudocode. Okay, so we'll come to this. See, these are very initial weeks, so we haven't used much pseudocode till now. Later weeks, you will be using only pseudocode. So this step-by-step thing, this will not be there in advanced week. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, doesn't pseudocode looks kind of like Java?
See, since why you're saying this, because the syntax in Java is more English related.
No, ma'am, it is kind of like that same curly bracket type.
These are used in C programming also.
Okay.
Okay, so many programming languages use this type of these braces in their syntax. But pseudocode is not like any programming language. Okay, it is just like you are writing an algorithm, but in English. You're not using any proper syntax. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Let's start question 3. The given procedure finds the number of sentences with maximum number of words from words dataset. So if you're familiar with words dataset, you will know again we have a file of cards, right? Each card contains a single word and information about that word. That is how many letters are present, letter count of that word, what is the part of speech of that word. And then again, each card has a unique identification number also, right? So that's your words data set. Or you can also, in some questions, see it is written as paragraph words data set. So we have to fill in the blanks from the given choices and complete the procedure. So our goal is that find the number of sentences with maximum number of words. Let's see. So step 1 is arrange all cards in single pile. See, this problem is just tweaked from that maximum problem that we saw, right? If you know how to find maximum, you will be able to do this. So initialize variable a, b, and count to 0. 3 variables we have, all are initialized to 0. Initialized means single equal to, like this. So step 3, if pile 1 is empty, then stop the iteration. Obviously, this is your first iteration, so pile 1 is not empty. The entire pile has the whole set of cards from words dataset. So you pick up the top card in step 4. Step 5, add 1 to variable A. So as soon as you pick up a card, you add 1 to variable A. So what do you think variable A is storing?
Count of the card
Count of the words,
words.
right? Each card is corresponding to a single word, so count of words. Step 6, if
Ma'am,
word
please
does
can you
not,
explain this step 5 again?
yeah, so every time you pick up a card from pile 1, right? You add 1 to variable A. That means A is incremented. A is incremented by 1.
Whatever the card we choose, we have to add
Whatever
one
the card
variable
you
to it.
choose. Yes, because
Okay.
every card contains only one word in it, right? So that means you have read one more word. So count
Okay,
of
ma'am.
words is being stored in A. Now step 6, if word, that means the current card that you have picked, the word in that card does not end with full stop. That means it is not at the end of a sentence. So if it does not end with full stop, then you directly go to step 11. You bypass all of these steps and go to step 11. Move the current card to another pile called pile 2 and repeat from step 3. So when will I ever get to go to step 7, 8, 9, 10?
There will be
Last word
full
of the
stop.
sentence.
It is not a last
Get a word with
card.
a full stop.
Last word.
Correct. So when I reach the last word of a sentence, right? So let's say I take a sentence like this. I am a girl. Okay, this is my sentence. So there are 4 words in this. The last one has full stop. So I pick the first word. So you add 1 to variable A. So variable A was initially 0. Now it is 1. Does word end with full stop? No. So I go to step 11. I move this to pile 2. Then you again start from step 3. That is this one. Is pile 1 empty? No, I have 3 more cards. So pick up the next card, am. Again add 1 to variable A. So A is now 2. Is it ending with full stop? No. Same, pile 2. Move it to pile 2. Go for the next card. Then this one. Again A is incremented. A is now 3. Move it to pile 2. Since it doesn't end with full stop, pick up the next card. That is girl. This ends with full stop. Regardless of that, we are going to increment A. So A is now 4. That means you have read 4 words till now. So now you come to step 6. If word does not end with a full stop, but this word ends with a full stop. So we won't go to step 11. We'll go to step 7. If A is less than B, then go to step 10. Right? B is initially what? 0. A, B count all at 0 initially. Right? Now A is 4 after you have read these 4 words. So it is saying if A is less than B, then go to step 10. So is A less than B currently? Is 4 less than 0? No. So we won't go to step 10. Come to step 8. If A is greater than B, then store A in B. So first let's go step by step. A is greater than B. Yes. Store A in B. So your B is now assigned whatever value is there in A. That means B is also now 4. Assign 1 to count. Okay. Why do I assign 1 to count?
One sentence is
Because
complete.
one
Because
word
A
is
greater
one word
than
at
B.
end of the sentence.
Because we have completed reading one sentence. Right. So assign 1 to count and go to step 10. So step 10 is what? Reinitialize A to 0. That means A is now again 0. So that when you start reading the next sentence after this, A is now a fresh variable in which you can again store the word count. Now see, let's take one more sentence. If I say, I'm just going to erase this part, okay?
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. What we did in step 9?
Step 9 is blank. Okay, that's what we have to fill in, that what should be there in step 9. So for that, you have to first understand how the problem is working with some examples. So after this sentence, let's say your data set has a lot of sentences, right? So next one, let's say, I am in first year. This is your next sentence. So this has how many words? 5 words. Right? At the end of execution, remember at this point, B is 4 because the first sentence after that, I have assigned whatever value was stored in A into B. Right? So at this point, A is 0, B is 4, count is How much?
1.
1. Okay. Now again do the same thing. So A will be incremented for every card that you read. So A at the end of reading all 5 cards will be what? 5.
5.
A will be 5 after you have read all 5 cards. I am in first year, 5 different cards. So A will be 5. At this point, B is still 4, count is still 1. Now the last word is obviously ending with a full stop. So again you check. Step 7. Is A less than B? Is A less than B? Currently A is 5, B is 4. No. A greater than B? Yes. Again B is storing whatever A is storing. So B is now also 5. Assign 1 to count and go to step 10. Right. Now, why this is happening? Why we are assigning 1 to count again? Because now we have found a sentence which has greater word count. See, when will count change then? So after this, if I again, so currently also count is 1. Go to step 10. Now A is again reinitialized to 0. B is 5, count is 1, A is 0. Now you can understand that if I again take one more sentence which has 5 words in it. Okay, one more sentence if I take which has 5 words in it. Tell me a sentence which has 5 words.
And what if
He
A is
was in
equal to
second
B?
year.
Yeah, let's just say I am going to college. Okay. So yeah, this means that whatever is there in A is being assigned to B. Okay, so B equals A means this is assignment operator. So A is being assigned to B. So A's value was 5. So now B's value is also 5. Now let's say this is the third sentence. So how many words in this sentence? Again 5. At this point, A is 0 initially, B is 5, count is 1. Now after I have finished reading this third sentence also, A is going to be what?
5.
B is also 5, count is 1. Now you come to step 7. Is A less than B? No. Step 8. Is A greater than B? No. Both are 5. That means what condition is left? A is equal to B?
B.
A equals
Yes.
to.
So definitely this is what? This is the correct statement that should be in step 9. But is that all? We need count of all sentences that have the maximum word count. So what more should I?
Increment count by 1.
Correct. So count will be count plus 1. Now why is this happening? Look, if in your entire data set, let's say the maximum word count is of any sentence is, let's say 6. Okay. In your entire data set, the longest sentence contains 6 words. Now there can be more than one such longest sentences, right? More than one sentence that contains 6 words. So currently we are dealing with sentences which are containing 5 words. So now we have 2 such sentences. So count will be what now? Count was initially 1. So since the equality condition is satisfied, so count will now be 2, right? One more increment. Now next sentence, if you pick up and you see that it's a 6-word sentence, then will you keep on incrementing count?
No.
We have to reassign count, right? Because now, till now, we know that 5 word was the longest sentence because that's what we have seen till now. If the next sentence turns out to be 6 words long, then we know that this is longer than the longest sentence we have seen till now. That means we have to again reinitialize count to 1. That means the number of longest sentences is 1 right now. Right. So every time you encounter a sentence that is longer than the longest sentence you have seen till now, you have to reinitialize count to 1. Right. And regardless of whatever is happening, A will always be reinitialized to 0 at the end of each sentence, so that you can again store the word count for the next sentence. So what will be here? First thing is, you will check if A is equal to B, then count equals to count plus 1. Let's see if any such option is there. Yes, if A is equal to B, then add 1 to count. Again, this is MSQ. So second option C, if A is equal to B, assign 1 to count. No, you cannot, we are not reassigning. If I find one more sentence which has 5-word count, then I will again add to count, right? I will not reassign count. When will I reassign? When I find a sentence which is even longer. If I find a 6-word sentence, then I will reassign. Then option C is saying if word ends with a full stop and A equals to B, then add 1 to count. So this is also correct. Because when are we coming to this step 9? When word does end with a full stop, right? Because this step 6. So if word does not end, then we would have gone to straight away to step 11. Since word is not, since word is ending with a full stop, that's why we're coming to step 9. So if word ends with a full stop, that means you're at the end of a sentence. And A equals to B, that means whatever is the longest sentence you have seen till now, this sentence is still also having the same word count. So you are adding 1 to count. So A and C both are correct.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Till now, in these types of question, a flowchart is already given, and we are doing something on that, either filling the blank or true or false we are doing. But for the exam, do we need to know how to create a flowchart if a problem statement is given?
Flowchart. No, this is not a flowchart, right? This is like a procedure. Flowchart is the diagrammatic one.
Sorry,
Diagrammatic
I
approach.
meant procedure means
No, you
here
see
the
in
procedure
CT
is given.
exam, in CT course, entire course, you won't have to write any code. Okay. You just have to decipher the code. That's it.
Means for solving the question, if any problem statement is given, do we need to know how to create the procedure for that, the algorithm?
No, we won't ask you to write it, but you should know, right? Because if you don't know, then you won't be able to solve. You should be able to understand what the code is doing.
Ma'am,
For
this
that, you
format
can
will
take
be followed only
example.
for foundation level or across the 4 years?
No, obviously in this CT is just an introduction to programming, right? It is not any programming language particularly. So next
Yeah.
step, when you learn Python, obviously you have to write all the code yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So is this question clear? Anyone who did not understand? Please, you can unmute and ask.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can
Which
you
part? Tell me.
explain that option alone again? If A equal to B, comma, then count is equal to +1.
This, why this is coming, right? See,
Yes, ma'am.
when you have two variables, right, A and B, and you want to compare them. So what are the possibilities? Either A has to be greater than B, or A has to be less than B, or both are equal. These are the three possibilities, correct? So we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
that if A is less than B, then we directly go to step 10. We reinitialize A and then we go for the next card, right? If A is greater than B, that means we have now reached a sentence. We've now found a sentence which has a greater word count than the longest sentence we have seen till now. Right. If I have seen only 5-word sentences till now, which are the maximum length sentences, next sentence I read is a 6-word long sentence. Right. Then A will be greater than B. So in that case, I can now say that, okay, now the maximum word count of a sentence in the dataset is 6, not 5 anymore. So I have to reassign count to 1. Because from now on, I will be counting 6-word long sentences, not 5-word long. Similarly, if you find another sentence which is 7-word long, you will again reassign count to 1. From now onwards, you will count only 7-word long sentences until you find a greater one. That's the working. Okay. Now, how will you increment the count? This is assignment. So when you find, let's say I have found a 6-word long sentence. So I reassigned count to 1. Now the next sentence I read is also 6 words long. In that case, I need to add to count, right? That there are 2 such sentences which are 6 words long. So that's why whenever both the variables A and B are equal, so B is storing what basically? B is storing the maximum word count of a sentence till now, right? And A is storing what? Current word count of the sentence that you are reading. So if both are equal, then you increment count. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone, any other doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's go to the next one. You can also read the solutions, right? These are available to you too.
Could you please share the PDF? Means where is it available?
It's available on the portal itself, right? So you can just go to your practice assignment and you can see download solution PDF on the top. There's a link. If you can't find it, I'll share it with you on the chat. Okay. All right. Question 4 is saying, what will A minus B represent after execution of the following procedure using the shopping bills dataset? So shopping bills dataset, this dataset you should just go through it once because there are cards like this. Every card is like representing a customer, what shop they have shopped from. So there are 2-3 different types of stores, right? Then what items they have purchased in what quantity, what is the price per unit of an item, these things. You can find all of this in the portal, right? In the datasets section, all the datasets are given. So these are the information present in the shopping bills dataset. So this question is asking what will A minus B represent, right? So let's understand what the code is doing. First step, arrange all cards in a single file 1. Then you initialize variables A and B to 0. So A is also 0, B is also 0. Step 3, again check if the file is empty, then you stop iteration, end procedure. But since it is not empty, so you pick up the top card. Then step 5, if the bill contains item milk, then add 1 to variable A. That means every time you pick a card, that is some customer's card, right? So that customer's name is there, whatever items he has purchased is there. So you go through the item list and you check whether this person has purchased milk. If milk is in the item list, then you increment variable A by 1. Then you come to step 6. If the name of the person whose card you have picked is Srivatsan, right? If that's the customer's name and the bill contains the item milk, then add variable.
Ma'am,
Yes, go on.
ma'am, where we can find the shopping bills cards?
Okay, see, I'll show you once. Wait.
Ma'am, for the CT exam, do we need to remember the data sets?
No need. All the
The
data
exam
sets
they
will
will be
be
given.
provided. Yeah. Just wait 1 second. Now let me find the data sets on the portal. So you can just go to your portal for CT, then go to the left-hand side panel. Okay, let me open the link. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so just go to this course introduction, right? There's this is given common data set. So here you can click here to view the data. So you'll be redirected to this drive. Here you can find all the data sets. Okay, scores, shopping bills, all of them are here. Library.
Okay, ma'am.
See,
Thank you.
the main thing that will be given in exam is this thing. This is the structure of the data set, right? So you don't need to remember individual cards, right? You just need to know what is the structure of a data set, what it contains. That's all. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. So first condition was that the bill should contain an item which is milk. Then you add 1 to variable A. Next condition is that if the person whose bill you have picked, his name is Srivatsan and the bill contains the item milk, that is both conditions are true at the same time, then you add 1 to variable B. So tell me one thing. If I pick some card, okay, and for that I am incrementing A, does that automatically mean that B will also get incremented?
Can you repeat, ma'am? What are you asking?
Yeah, I am saying that let's say I picked a card, okay, and whatever information is in that card, I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you that A is being incremented. So can you also tell from this only that B will definitely be incremented too?
No, ma'am. We will increment when the name would be Srivatsan.
Correct. But if I say B is getting incremented, can I say A was also incremented?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
will be increment.
Right. So if you understand this, that means you will understand when I write nested if conditions in the pseudocode, right? So because this is a nested if. So it basically in pseudocode format, it will look like this. So first you will check if, I don't want to use that syntax yet, but basically you will check if milk is present in, let's say, bill dot items. This is a list of items in the bill. So if this condition is true, then inside this, you'll write one more if statement, which will check if name is equal to Srivatsan. Okay. This is nested if. So if the outer if condition is true, then A will be incremented, A equals to A plus 1. Then if the inner if condition is also true, we will only check the inner if the outer if is true. Okay. Then we will increment B equals to B plus 1. So this thing we'll discuss later when we see actual pseudocodes. Here you can just understand that if
Could you please
bill
repeat this code?
Yeah. So this is an example of nested if statement, right? Which we will do later on when we do actual pseudocodes. But here the outer if condition is that if milk is present in the items in the current bill, right? If so, that means if this if statement is valid, then you increment A and you check a nested if statement. Nested if is checking what? If the bill whose bill you have picked, the name of the customer is Srivatsan. If this is also valid, then you increment B. But remember, if milk is not present in bill items, then I will not even check this inner if. Okay, if outer if is valid, only then you check the inner if. So this is what is represented in this like English word format, but later on in pseudocode, you will write like this. Okay, then step 7, what happens? Move the current card to another pile called file 2 and repeat from step 3. So what is happening here? A is storing what? A is storing number of
stores
number of
from
bills.
where
Right, number of bills that contain milk.
Milk that contains milk.
And B stores what? Number of Srivatsan's bills that contain milk. Right. That contain milk. So A minus B will be what?
number of bills that
the
contain
bills
milk
Number
which
of
but
contain
not
milk which
Srivatsan.
are from
milk items in the
non-Srivatsan.
bill.
Number of bills which contain milk but are not from Srivatsan. Let's
Yes,
check
ma'am.
the options once, then I'll explain this again. See, first option is saying number of Srivatsan's bills which do not contain item milk.
Option
Not
C is correct.
necessarily. So option 3 is saying number of bills other than Srivatsan's which contain the item milk.
Yeah,
Right.
option C is
Because
correct. ma'am.
option A is containing all such bills of every customer that has purchased milk. And B is containing only Srivatsan's bills where he has purchased milk. So if you take out that from the first set, what is remaining? The number of bills which are not from Srivatsan that still contain the milk item. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Option C.
Yes, ma'am.
Option C is correct. Is this question clear for everyone? Anyone has a doubt?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, answer is number D, right?
No, C. You have to find A minus B, right? Look at the two sets. A is containing number of bills in the entire data set. That is among all customers that have purchased milk, number of such bills. And B is number of just Srivatsan's bills where he has purchased milk. So if you take out B from A, what is remaining? Number of bills other than Srivatsan which has purchased the item milk. Right? This is just a set difference problem basically. This is set of all bills containing item milk, and this set, so this is A, this is B, and this is set of Srivatsan's bill containing milk. Understood? We need this part. This. Okay. So should we go to the next one?
Thank you, ma'am. Understood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, question 5. So what will D represent after the execution of the following procedure, again using scores data set? So now get familiar with these data sets, right? B represents. So first go through the pseudocode. Step 1 is arrange all cards as usual. Step 2, you initialize the variables. So initially A is 0, B is 0. If pile 1 is empty, stop iteration. If it's not, then pick the top card. Step 5, if physics marks of the student whose card you have picked is not less than mathematics marks. That means basically physics marks is greater than mathematics marks, right? Or
Greater than or equal.
equal to. So if any of these, then store physics minus mathematics, that is the difference, in A. Next, step 6, if A is greater than B, then store A in B. Okay. Move the current card to another file and repeat from step 3. So basically, this is a question which will require you to go through all 30 cards in the dataset. So this type of question will not come in the actual exams. This is just for practice assignment at home because you have the time to go through all 30 cards, right? This is an NAT type of question, numerical answer type. So for this, see, the answer is 28. That means if you go through the data set and you check for every card the physics and maths marks and you then take out the difference, store it in B, store it in A, compare with B, then at the end you will get this 28 as answer. So this is like nothing that you need to, what can I say, understand, right? It is just something you have to go through cards and just do basic calculation and find out. So is there any meaningful value that we can assign to B? Like any meaning we can attach with B? What is B storing? A is definitely storing what? The difference between physics and maths marks of each student. But every time A is getting greater than B, we are storing A in B. So at the end, B will represent what?
The highest difference in physics and maths marks of a student.
Correct. So highest difference in physics and maths marks of a student, given that physics marks is greater than or equal to the maths marks. Okay.
Could you please explain how B stores that?
B is initially 0, right? Let's take one person's card. Let's say first card you pick. The physics marks is 60, maths marks is 40. What is the difference? First of all, check the condition. Is physics greater than maths? Yes. Difference is 20. So difference is stored where? In A. So A is 20. B is initially what? 0. Is A greater than B? Yes. So B is also now storing 20. Now let's say you pick the second card.
Evening,
Right?
ma'am.
Okay. So physics and math. Let's say second card, physics marks is 75, maths marks is 70. In this case also physics is greater than math. But what is the difference that is stored in A?
5.
5. Now is A greater than B? No. B is 20. So you won't assign A to B. When will I assign A to B? When A is greater than B at some point. So tell me, what is the maximum value that B can have?
Maximum difference between physics and maths marks.
Yes, and what is that? What is that maximum that is possible? I'm not talking about the data set, just in general. What is the maximum that is possible?
100?
I'm 100. Nine.
Right. If you get
Nine.
physics 100 and 0 in math, then that is the greatest difference. So just go through the data set once, all the cards, and you can do this for yourself. But this type of question will not be asked in any of the exams. Okay, let's do this.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Not
This question?
question, but other question. No,
Which
ma'am,
one? Tell me
not this
number.
question, other question.
Okay, practice
Ma'am,
assignment or
actually, I have doubt in week 3 content.
week 3?
Can I have?
Excuse me, ma'am.
This is,
Ma'am, I have doubt in
Suppose.
week 1.
listen, okay. So this class is for week 2, right? So I have to first complete week 2. Then at the end, see, we will have time at the end, right? We just have to do the PA today. So I just wait till the end, then I'll take all your doubts. Okay, week 3 doubts I am not going to take today because we haven't yet covered the theory or anything from that week. Week 1 doubt I can take.
Ma'am, this is week 2 practice assignment.
Yeah, this is week 2 practice assignment.
Ma'am, if we are doing graded assignment and somewhat practice assignment, then we are well prepared for quiz 1.
Yes, that is enough.
Okay, ma'am. Activity questions are compulsion or it's our choice or more practice, no?
activity and practice are both for your practice. So none of these are mandatory, only graded is mandatory.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So if anyone has week 1 doubts also, then you can wait till the end. I'll take your doubts.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Question 6. So given procedure is executed using again scores dataset. What will minimum represent after execution of the procedure? So step 1 is saying arrange all cards in single pile. Now initialize 4 variables, A, B, C, and minimum all to 1000. So can you tell me why I'm assigning minimum to 1000? Because when we want to find minimum, right, that means we want to store the smallest value in it. So whatever comparison I do with it, I want it to be the smallest. That means in our data set, whatever marks are there in each of the subjects, the range of the marks is what? 0 to 100. So whenever I compare this with the min variable, definitely, even if a student has scored 100, 100 will still be less than 1000. So we need to start at a point which is much higher than whatever value is in our data set, right? If we want to find minimum, like we want to find maximum, we start with 0, right? Then we increment. Similarly, if we want to find minimum, we start with a much higher value than the highest value in your data set. So we are assigning everything to 1000 initially. So A, B, C, min, all are 1000. Okay. Then if file 1 is empty, stop the iteration, go to step 9. That is this step. But since it is not the case, so let's focus on step 4. Read the top card. If mathematics marks is less than A, then store mathematics marks in A. Okay, let's take an example. First card. Okay. Maths, let's say the student has scored 80, physics he has scored 75, chemistry has scored 70. This is the first card you have picked. So maths marks is less than A. Yes. So A is
Yes.
storing now 80. All of these will be less, right? Because these are all set to 1000. So physics marks will also be less. So B will be 75. C will be, chemistry marks is less than C. Yes, C will be 70. Then you move this current card to pile 2 and repeat from step 3. So we only come to step 9 when the pile is exhausted. Once we have gone through all the cards, then we go to step 9 and step 10. Okay. So which are the iterative steps, which are repeating steps, is these ones, right? Step 3 till step 8. These are the repeating steps. So next card you pick, let's take one more example. Let's say now the person has scored 90 in math, 60 in physics, 55 in chemistry. Okay. So is maths marks less than A? No. Current A is 80. So A will remain 80. Physics marks less than B? Yes. So B will be now 60. Chemistry marks less than C? Yes. C will be now 55. Again, move the current card to pile 2. Go pick up the next card. So like this, you will continue until your pile is exhausted. Okay. At that point, so once you come to this step, step 3 again, if pile 1 is empty. So if it is empty at the end of the file, it will be empty. So then you stop the iteration, go to step 9. What is happening in step 9? You are checking if A is less than B. So tell me one thing, at the end of execution of when you have gone through all cards, A, B, and C are basically storing what?
Minimum marks.
Minimum marks of respective.
Minimum marks scored in respective subjects. Correct. So now we are checking if A is less than B. Then store A in minimum. Otherwise store B in minimum. Right. If A is less than B. So A is storing for math, the minimum marks. And B is storing for physics. Right. So whatever is the smaller one will be stored in minimum. Then you come to step 10. You check if C is less than minimum. That is whatever is the lowest marks in the entire data set of chemistry. If that is lower than the current minimum, then you store C in minimum. So minimum will store what?
Minimum marks scored
Minimum
by
chemistry marks.
student in any of the subject.
So we can say that among all 3 subjects, it is the minimum marks that has been scored in any of the subjects, right? So the minimum marks among all subjects. Can I say that?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see which option.
Ma'am, D.
D.
D. This is clear for everyone, right? Understood. Any doubt?
Ma'am, just a minute. Ma'am, let me take the screenshot once.
Yes. So whenever, see, I tell this every time that whenever you're solving these CT problems, right, just take some examples in your head. Okay, that is easy to understand than the pseudocode instead of just reading, right? Okay, question 7. This is also from sports dataset. So initially we mostly focus on the sports dataset
Excuse
and
me,
words
ma'am.
dataset. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. Ma'am, the previous procedure has a shortcoming, isn't it? It can only execute if the range of the marks is within 1,000.
Yes, but the data set itself has range within 100 only for each subject, right? That's why we took 1000 initially.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, in exam we will get this coordinate sheet.
No, you won't need the data set, right? So we will give you the format of the data set, that what each card represents or each card stores. That's all. Okay, that's all you will require. Okay. So initially
Ma'am,
we
so
are
in
only
quiz
go on.
one, like in, may I ask, ma'am?
Yes, go on.
Ma'am, so in like in qualifier, the data sets were given. In quiz one, will the data sets will be given?
In every exam for CT, data set will be given. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are you also planning to discuss the week 1 graded assignment doubts or just the practice assignment?
Yeah, I can take week 1 graded doubts if I have time. Okay. So till 8 o'clock, if you
All
have
right.
time, I'll discuss that.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So scores data set. What will count represent at the end of execution? So now this is your pseudocode. Okay. I hope you're happy now. All that step 0, step 1 is gone. This is actual pseudocode. So count is initially 0. Count is initialized to 0. Then that thing we were seeing, right? That is file 1 empty. That is now placed in this while loop. Same thing it is. That while table 1 has more rows. That is while file 1 is not empty. Same thing. So you pick up the first card or read the first row and call it X. So X is basically the first card that you are picking. That is X. Now, then you initialize C to 0. Okay. Then you check if the current card's mathematics marks is greater than 75, then you increment C by 1. Similarly, check for physics and chemistry and increment C by 1 every time the if condition is true. At the last if condition you're checking, if C is less than equal to 2, less than equal to 2 means C can take the values 0, 1 and 2, right? So if C's value is among any of these less than equal to 2, then you increment count by 1. So what is count representing? Basically, when we check this thing, C, right? What is C storing? If C is 0, what can I say? For a single card, after checking all these 3 conditions, if I see that C's value is 0, then I can say that that person has not scored greater than 75 in any subject, right? If
Yes,
C is
ma'am.
1, if C is 1, then I can say that he has scored greater than 75 in one subject, exactly one subject. If it is 2, then he has scored greater than 75 in exactly 2 subjects, and 3 means exactly 3 subjects, all 3 subjects. So we are incrementing count only when C's value is either 0 or 1 or 2. Right. So count is what? Count is representing what?
If any of the student has scored above 75, it is just negating the fact that if all the student have scored more than 75 in all the subjects.
So which of these options look correct?
A option.
Ma'am, A option, at least 2.
No, C option.
Yeah, at
Ma'am,
least 2 means
just a
what?
minute, ma'am, please.
At least 2 means 2 and greater than 2. Right. 2 is the lower bound. But here what we are checking, C is less than equal to 2. That means 0, 1 or 2. So it should be at most 2 subjects, right? When you say at least 2, you are also counting the ones that are greater than 2. That is, if C is equal to 3, if some person has scored greater than 75 in all 3 subjects, he is also included, but that's not the case. So number of students who scored more than 75 marks in at most 2 subjects. This is the correct one.
In case of at least, it would be greater
At
than or
least
equal
means
to 2.
correct. Greater than or equal to 2. Understood this
Ma'am,
question,
if it
everyone?
is equal to 2.
That means exactly 2 subjects.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in non-graded assignment, lecture number 1, activity number 1, second week, activity number 1, question number 4. Second.
Yeah, those questions I will take. Okay, I'm just asking current question if you have a doubt. That I will take at the end of the class.
Okay,
Ma'am,
currently, no.
ma'am, can you please explain again how to reach this? I mean, at most or at least that particular English wording is little confusing for me.
See, when I say at least 2, okay, if I say when I say the word at least, what does it mean? That at least 2 means lower bound is 2. So it should be 2 or more than 2, right? That's when we say at least 2. And when do I say at most 2? That means it should not be above 2. It should not be greater than 2. It should be at most 2. Right? So I can say that C's value is, if I say C's value is at least 2. That means C can take what values? 2 and 3. 2 or greater than 2, right? But if I say at most, C can be at most 2, which is this case. That is C is less than equal to 2. This is at most. So this means C can take the value 0, 1 and 2. So when I say at least, the mathematical representation is what? Greater than equal to. Okay. If I say at least X, so it should be greater than equal to X. And if I say at most X, then it should be less than equal to X.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Question 8 and 9 are
Ma'am, can you please explain the condition in that while?
While is just, see, while table 1 has more rows, that means your entire data set, course data set has how many cards? 30 cards. So we are just taking that in a tabular format. So each card is representing one row in a table. So whatever you are seeing in the other step-by-step procedures, right? So there we were saying what? That until file 1 is exhausted. It means until you have read all the cards. That same thing is applying here. That until table 1 is exhausted, you will run this loop.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, if C is only equal to 2.
Come again?
If C is only equal to 2.
This you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that means what? That the person, we are trying to count the number of people who have scored more than 75 in exactly 2 subjects. Not less than, not greater than, exactly 2.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubt? This question? All right. Now 8 and 9 are part questions, right? So one code only we have to read and then we can solve 2 questions from that. So in exam, if you can, try to solve this type of problems fast. Okay. I mean, you can do these first and then do the singular ones later because this will give you more marks. So the following pseudocode is executed using again scores.
Couldn't get it what you told.
So this is a part question, right? So I just have to read one pseudocode and I can solve 2 questions from that, 8 and 9 both. So try to do these first in the exam. So initially, this is also scores dataset. Initially, A is 0, B is 0, C is 0. Okay. Now, while pile 1 has more cards, so you are going through all the cards in the pile until it is exhausted. You read the first card. Let's call that card X. So if the maths marks of that student is less than his physics marks, then you increment all 3, A, B, and C. But if his maths marks is greater than his physics marks, you only increment B and C. And if his maths marks is exactly equal to his physics marks, you only increment C. Okay. So that's the pseudocode. Not very meaningful, right? From just reading this much. What can I say about it, A, B, and C? If I go through all of the cards, right? If I go through all of the cards, what can I say about variable A? After I've gone through all of the cards, let's say A is storing 20. What can I say then about A?
Mathematics
Ma'am,
marks
that
equals
means the
to
number of
physics.
students who has scored less marks in mathematics than physics.
Is 20, right? That I can say. Then what can I say about B? Can I say anything about
Number
B?
of students has mathematics marks more than physics.
But can you say that? Because
Ma'am,
when it
B
was
is
less also,
ma'am
then
B.
also B is
No, ma'am, we
incremented.
can't.
Ma'am, B is the number of students whose mathematics marks are not equal to physics marks. So they could either be less than or more than.
Correct. Good. And what can I say about C? Can I say anything?
Yes, ma'am. About C, we can say when number of students whose mathematics marks are equal to physics marks.
But C is also incremented when maths is greater than physics and when maths is less than physics. So directly, I can't say anything about C. About A, I can say. About B also, I can say something that it is definitely not equals to. Maths is not equal to physics. That much I can say about B. But about C, I cannot say anything. So let's see what the question is asking. What will the value of C minus A represent?
Ma'am, won't C be like the number of students who gave both maths and physics?
Who? Sorry?
C, the value of C, won't it be the number of students who had the scores in both maths and physics? Like they
Every
both
student
gave
has
the
scored,
exam?
right?
Yeah,
No,
but that would be like the total number of students, right?
you're saying C is containing total number of students.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Because every student, see, every card you pick has to be either one of these three conditions. Either maths is less than physics, or maths is greater than physics, or both are equal. So no matter which it is, C is getting incremented. That means at the end of execution, if there are 30 cards in your pile, C will always be 30. Because in every case, C is getting incremented regardless. So C is nothing but the count of cards. Okay, good. This is the realization I wanted you to tell me. So this is good. If you can decipher code like this, you can easily solve quiz 1 questions. Okay. So C is basically number of students. Now, if I do C minus A, what do I get?
Number of
Number of
students who
students have
scored greater than
mathematics
equal
marks
to
equal
marks
to and
in
greater than
comparison
physics.
to mathematics to physics.
Okay, good. So C is basically all students. A is the number of students who have scored less in maths than in physics. So if I subtract that, that means that is the set of all students who have scored greater or equal to in physics than maths. So number of, okay, you tell me which option.
Ma'am, A.
See the code again. If maths is less than physics, then you increment A. If you take A out, what is remaining? If maths is greater than equal to physics. Greater than equal to means what? At most or at least?
At most.
At least.
At least.
At least.
At least.
If I say A is greater than equal to 2, that means
Ma'am, at least.
A
At
is at
least greater
least 2.
than 2.
A is at least 2.
At least actually
At
means
least A
minimum.
is at least
Minimum
2.
it will be 2.
Option
Yeah,
A
that is
is
what I'm saying.
correct, ma'am.
Ma'am,
They're saying
option A is
option A.
correct.
The number of students whose maths marks are at least as much as physics marks. But you didn't
Yes,
say
ma'am, they
option D.
could. Yes, ma'am, even D could be correct.
Because we have just reversed it. We are now saying it at most, right? Number of students whose physics marks are at most as much as maths marks. That means that are less than equal to. Physics marks is less than equal to maths marks. Both are same, right? Just reverse the subject names and the operator. That's all. If maths is at least as much as physics, then physics is at most as much as maths. Both are same thing. So both A and D are correct. Okay, so MCQ questions, be a little more attentive. MSQ questions. Okay, any doubt in this question 8? Anyone? Okay,
No,
let's do
ma'am.
9. Good. Number 9 is saying C minus B. So now let's see. C is again all students. So C minus B. B is what? Number of students whose maths and physics marks are definitely not equal. So if I take that out, what is left?
Ma'am, the students whose
Ma'am,
maths and
couldn't
physics
Maths
marks
marks is
are
equal
equal.
to physics.
Ma'am,
Let's
excuse
check the
me.
options. Yeah.
Ma'am, couldn't get it.
See,
Just one thing I
C
couldn't
minus
get
B.
it. Could you
Yeah, tell me.
repeat?
Which part?
So here you told that C means that math marks will not be equal to physics marks. How is this possible? Because in
No,
C is
I
equal
said
to C
C
plus
means
1
C means
x.
what did I say? C means count of all students. Okay. C is
Okay.
representing count of all students. B means what? That maths and physics marks are definitely not equal. Nothing more I can say about it.
Okay, okay, understood.
Okay, so C minus
Understood,
B.
ma'am.
Now you try to find out the answer
Ma'am,
from the
number of
option.
students who scored same marks to physics
I'm
in
option
comparison to
A.
Option
mathematics.
A.
Number of students whose maths marks are equal to physics marks. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
Yes,
because we are
ma'am.
taking out the unequal ones. So that means only equal ones are left.
And here actually I cannot understand why did we take three variables and what are the three distinctly representing that I cannot
Okay,
understand.
I'll tell you again. See. First check which are the repeating ones. A is only incremented once, right? A is not incremented anywhere else. So for which condition A is incremented? When maths is less than physics. So about A variable, what can I say? It is the number of students whose maths marks is less than physics marks. Can I say this? This okay? B. B is yeah.
Ma'am, how to conclude the average marks?
Average is not being calculated here. If you want to calculate average, then you need the total marks, right? And you have the count from C. So you can divide that by C. So average in which subject or total average, that depends on it. Okay. B is representing what? B is getting incremented twice, once here, once here. But at one time, that is for a single card, either this condition can be true, or this condition can be true, or this condition can be true. More than one condition cannot be true at once, right? So B is representing what? Either B is incremented when maths is less than physics, or it is incremented when maths is greater than physics. So I can say it is the number of students whose maths marks is not equal to physics marks. Right? It can be greater or less. I don't know, but not equal. That much I know. C, what can I say? C is getting incremented regardless of the condition. In every condition, C is getting incremented. That means C is basically the number of students in the data set. Right? Whether you have scored less in maths than physics, then also C is incremented. If you have scored greater in maths than physics, then also C is incremented. If both are equal, then also C is incremented. And since at a time for a single card, only one condition can be true. So C will be incremented once for every card you pick. So that is the number of students. Clear both questions 8 and 9? Anyone has a doubt?
Yes, ma'am. I am having doubt that, ma'am, number of students whose math marks are equal to physics marks, C minus B represent.
Hmm.
But in the case of math dot maths greater than x dot physics, sorry, less than x dot physics, A is equal to A plus 1 is also there.
Yeah, but we are not concerned about A in this question. We are asking what is C minus B. Right? A is nowhere in the equation here. A was in the 8th question where I said what is C minus A.
Yes.
So when you
So
go to C, yeah,
C is
go on.
equal to C plus 1 also represent that x dot maths is greater than x dot
Yes,
physics.
definitely. C is representing all students. So regardless of what their physics or maths marks are, every student is being counted under C. But that is not the case for A and B. A and B are counting only selective students.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you take out B from C, then what is left? C is the set of all students. B is the set of students whose maths and physics marks are not equal. Greater than, less than, I don't know. But they are not
Okay,
equal.
not equal.
So when you take it out, what is left? The maths and physics marks equal those students.
Understood. Ma'am.
Okay. Same set difference thing. Okay. Should we start this one? Any other doubt? Okay. So question 10, again scores data set. So this is a bit bigger. Let's see. A0, B0, C false initially. So C is what type of variable? What is the data type?
Boolean.
Boolean. Boolean, correct. Then you start your while loop. So while pile 1 has more cards, read the top card, pick one card. Check if the student whose card you picked has gender female. This is your outer if, right? This is the nested if I was talking about. So first you check if the outer if condition is valid. So if let's say you picked a card and that card belongs to some girl, so obviously the gender is female. So outer if condition is valid. Then you come to the inner if and check if the city town of that card is Chennai. If that is also valid, then you increment A. So A is basically representing what? Count of number of female students from Chennai. Everyone agrees till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If it was a male student whose card I picked, I would not check the city town because the outer if would fail. Right? Inner if is only checked if outer if is valid.
Yeah.
So A is representing, let's just write it down for future reference, number of female students from
Chennai.
Okay. Next while loop. Now see, this while loop is ending here. That means I have gone through all the cards. Now once I go through a card, where do I put it? In pile 2. So at the end of execution of this first while loop, can I say that all cards are now moved to pile 2?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now pile 1 is empty, pile 2 has all the cards. So next while loop, I go to in line 11. So here I am now taking the cards from which pile? Pile 2. So while pile 2 has more cards. So you again pick the cards, same cards. Read one card, check if the city town is in Bangalore. This is the outer if. If city town is Bangalore, then you check the inner if. If gender is not female, that means gender is male. Not female means definitely there are only two genders in our data set, so it is male.
Ma'am,
Then
that
if
means
both,
number of male students from Bangalore, I think.
correct. B is representing number of male students from Bangalore. So A and B, what they're representing, we are clear on that. Okay. And every time you read a card, you again move it back to pile 1. Lastly, after both the while loops are completed, see this second while loop ends here. Then you check if A is greater than B. Then C is assigned the value true. Otherwise, C will remain false as it was by default false, assigned to false in the beginning. So when will C become true? That is the question. When there are, tell me.
Number of male
from Chennai than the
students greater
male
than
from
male
Bangalore.
students from
More
Bangalore.
girls in Chennai than more boys in Bangalore.
Correct. So when there are more female students from Chennai than there are male students in Bangalore. So which option?
B option. Option C.
C, ma'am.
If there are more female students from Chennai,
C.
I'm C.
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 C. C.
so option C is the correct one. Right? If there are more female students from Chennai than male students from Bangalore.
Ma'am, just one time, can you scroll up, please? Just 1 minute.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, even in the lectures of the professors and even when solving the question, when the code is given, then I can see and understand, but I cannot myself develop the procedure or write the
That's okay. See, these are just the first 2 weeks, right? Once you go on practicing this, you will be able to write. You don't need to start writing pseudocode, okay? Because pseudocode is something, I mean, it's very abstract. It's just English, right? You will start writing code when you learn the syntax for a particular language. But yeah, you should be able to form the logic. That's the whole point of CT. You should be able to form the logic of how to write code. Okay. It's okay if you cannot write pseudocode right now. It's just the second week.
Means
At
the
the end of
logic
the
part
course,
only I'm seeing. Means when the logic is given, then I have to test whether that logic is false or what
yes,
part in the
that is
logic
good
is
enough.
missing.
Yeah, that is good enough for CT. Okay.
But
You
I
should
am
be able to
not
derive
myself
that.
able to develop the logic.
You will be able to. Okay, just you need more practice. See, when you see this type of a question, if I give you a problem statement, so they here these questions in CT, every question the pseudocode will be given to you because we are not expecting students to write it. But later on, when you go to Python course, then we will give you problems which we will want you to develop the logic for. A very simple problem, I'll tell you. If I want to check if a number is odd or even, do you know the logic for that? How to check if a number is odd or even?
Ma'am, if
If
divisible
the
by
remainder
2,
is
then
zero
it
after
is
dividing by
even. If not, then odd.
That's
means after
it's
dividing by 2, if it is remainder is 0, then even else odd.
correct. So everyone knows that, right?
A mod
So
2,
this,
A mod 2
right.
is
Now
equal to
this
0
mod thing,
even.
you know. Now some person might not know that that operator is called a modulo operator, right?
Ma'am,
But they also
percentage,
know the
isn't it?
logic. Yes, percentage. So they also know the logic. That's the thing. You just have to know the logic. Syntax anyone can learn. Okay, once you go to Python, I'll only take Python also. So next time when you come to Python, we will do problems together. Okay, we'll write the code together. So this is okay. If you can formulate the logic, that's fine. For CT, you don't need to worry too much about writing code. Okay.
Ma'am, are we only learning Python or any other languages?
No, you'll learn Python, Java, C, all of them. But Java is in your diploma level and C is in your degree level. So in foundation, you will learn Python. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Question
Ma'am,
11.
just question out
Your
of
voice is
this
breaking up.
activity question. Just may I ask?
Is it only for me? Can you people hear what he's asking?
Ma'am, I was asking that I have a question about this activity question.
Yeah. Just wait for the activity questions. I'll come to them. Okay. Just let me finish the practice assignment. Okay. Now this is a new question. I also
Ma'am?
haven't seen this. Let's see.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
are practice assignment necessary to submit?
No. Only graded is mandatory. Okay, you can check the grading doc once. I think the first 7 assignments graded, that is mandatory. Okay.
Ma'am, if I had left one graded assignment of a one specific subject, then what can I do to it?
That thing you can check in the grading document. Okay, I'm not exactly sure about. I mean, I don't remember exactly what is the pattern. Just check the grading doc for that subject. It is given, or you can ask the
I
instructor.
had submitted, but it is showing that I had not submitted.
That should not happen, right? Maybe you missed the submit button or something. If you submit once, it will be stored. If you submit before the deadline.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
Any announcement?
Okay, so a principal wants to send students of her college to participate in an annual inter-college sport. So this is not about any data set. I think this is a new question. Okay. So principal wants to send students of her college to participate in an annual inter-college sports event. So she created a data set of students' interest in sports in the form of cards. That means every card belongs to a particular student, right? And it has the names of the sports in which the student has interest. So this is the format of the cards. Like for Nikhil, Nikhil is a student. The sequence number of the card is 5. And Nikhil has interest in these 3 games: cricket, badminton, and carom. Right. Soumya has interest in chess, carom, basketball, volleyball. Like this principal has created a data set where individual students have individual cards with their interest of sport of interest in it. So using the created data set, Rehana created a procedure to count the number of students who possess the following conditions. So now this person has created a procedure using this data set to count the number of students who possess these two conditions. That is, the student plays at least 3 games and the student plays either cricket or football but not both. So these two conditions must be followed. But she might have made some mistake. So we have to identify the mistakes. This is very straightforward. So we have a pile of cards similar to our scores data set only. Instead, here every card belongs to a single student. There is a sequence number and every card contains the number of the names of the sports in which the student has interest. But our conditions are that the student must play at least 3 games, that is 3 or more games. And the student can play either cricket or football, but not both. It is also okay if the student doesn't play either cricket or football. That is also fine. I think that is fine. Let me check once. Student plays either cricket or football, but yeah, I think it is fine if he doesn't play any football or cricket, but should not play both. So step 1 is arrange all cards in pile 1, fine. Initialize variables C, F and X to 0. I think C is for cricket, F is for football. So C is 0, F is 0, X is 0. If pile 1 is empty, then you stop the iteration. Same logic, read the top card otherwise. If the student plays at least 3 games, then go to step 10. Right, at least 3 games. So you have to check, right, that how many games are there in the card. If it is at least 3, then you go to step 10. Step 10 is what is happening here. Move the current card to another pile called pile 2 and repeat from step 3. Now, is this correct?
Ma'am, this is wrong.
No, ma'am.
So this should be if the student does not play at least 3 games, right? Because then we can discard the card. If he plays less than 3 games, if the student plays less than 3 games, then we can discard because that is our first condition. So this step 5 is wrong. How can we fix it? We can write if the student...
Yes, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. What is the third game? X is total number of the game or
X is, we don't know what, no, we don't know what X is currently. They have taken a variable, we'll see what it is.
Okay, so we have only 2 games, cricket and football.
No, basically I just said that C and F might represent cricket and football. I also don't know what it is. Okay, because I haven't gone through the entire code yet. These are just, for now, you can think of these as just 3 variables, C, F and X. We don't know what they represent. Okay, we will see as we go along the code, we'll see what they represent. Initially, these are just 3 variables. So if the student, so how can we fix it? That if the student does not play at least 3 games, right? Then go to step 10. Is this okay? Can I fix it like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then I can go to step 6 if this is fixed. If the student plays cricket, increment C. So that's what I was saying. C is basically representing number of students who play cricket or something like that. So C, if he plays cricket, increment C. So let's say the first card I have picked. Let me make a card. Let's say the person plays cricket, volleyball, and badminton. Okay. This is the first card. So he plays cricket, yes. So increment C. C was initially 0. C now becomes 1. Does he play football? No. So F is 0. If C plus F is equal to 2. So when will this happen?
Ma'am, when a student plays both football
When he
and
plays
cricket.
both cricket and football.
When he plays both.
Correct. So when he plays both, then we increment X, right? But what is our condition?
Ma'am,
That he should not play.
why we did not increment football to 1?
Because see, in my example card, is the student playing any of the is the student playing football? He's playing cricket, volleyball, and badminton. He's interested in these 3 sports. So when I came to step 6, I checked, does the student play cricket? Yes. So I incremented C. Does not play football, so I did not increment F. F still is 0. So C plus F is currently for this particular card is what? C plus F? 1.
1.
1, ma'am.
Right. 1 is definitely not equal to 2. So step 8, we won't do the increment. But first step, if I have
this
C
step is
plus F
wrong.
equals to 2, yeah. Should I be incrementing X? No, because I don't want such students, right? Who play both cricket and football. That is my second condition. Can play either cricket or football, but not both. So X is basically storing the number of such students. Okay. What is X? X is storing number of students who play at least 3 games and either play cricket or football, but not both. The students who satisfy all these criteria, the number of such students is stored in X. Yeah.
Ma'am, if the person play both cricket and football, what can we do?
According to this code, C plus F will then become 2 and X should be incremented. But we don't want such people, right? We don't want people who play both cricket and football. So ideally, X should not be incremented when C plus F is 2. That means this step is wrong. Okay.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Then step 9 is saying reinitialize variables C and F to 0.
Excuse me,
This
ma'am.
is fine. Yeah.
If C plus F is equal to 1, then increment X, then the step
Then
8
increment
is
X.
correct. Na?
Correct. Correct. This should be changed to 1. Then it is correct. After this, after you have done this, then you can reinitialize variables C and F to 0. Okay. Then move the current card to another pile called pile 2 and repeat from step 3. So step 5 and 8 currently are wrong. Let's see options. 5 is saying rather than going to step 10, the iterator should go to step 6. So if the student plays at least 3 games, right, then go to step 6. That means this step, obviously. If they play at least 3 games, then they're the students we want. So we go to the next step and check. Or you can also write like this. If they don't play 3 games, at least 3 games, then go to step 10. Any of the solutions you can use. Then step 8, incorrect conditional statement. We already saw why that is, because C plus F equal to 2 is wrong. We want it as equal to 1. So these two are correct.
Ma'am, when C plus F equal to 2 means when C equal to 1 and F equal to 1, they can represent different students who are playing one cricket, one football.
Is that so? See, step 9 is doing what? Before you pick a card, every time C and F are being reinitialized to 0. Right? C and F are always 0 at the beginning of the loop. Then you pick a card, then you increment C and F accordingly. Then you check the sum. And again, you reinitialize them to 0 before picking the next card.
I'm trying to say that according to this code, if this condition that when C equal to 1, F equal to 1, we will discard as both cricket and football cannot occur. But I am trying to say that it can also happen that two different students playing cricket and football have C equal to 1, F equal to 1.
Two different students.
Yes, ma'am.
So if one student is playing cricket, then for him C will be 1, F will be 0. And if another student is playing football, then for them C will be 0, F will be 1. But the sum will be 1, right? C plus F for individual students.
If one is not playing both the sports.
Yeah, then it will be 0. If one is not playing any of these, then it will be 0.
Then C plus F should be is equal to 0.
It can be 1 or 0. It can be 1 or 0. In both cases, you will increment X.
How can we
So that's why
that both will not play?
Yeah, come again.
I mean, seeing the question, how can we find that one will not play the cricket and
What is the
football?
condition given? Your condition only states that if a student plays either cricket or football, that is okay, but they should not be playing both. Nothing else is mentioned. It is not said that the student has to play either cricket or football. Right? The only other condition is that the student should play at least 3 games. So some students
they need to play at
It is
least
not mentioned
one of
that
the
C plus
following
F is equal
cricket
to
or
0.
football.
one by one. Wait, what are you saying?
I think as the point 2 is mentioning, the student plays either cricket or football, so I think they need to play at least one. They cannot skip both of them.
But it is
They
not
can
said,
skip
right?
because
It is not
if
said
you
that
read
they have to play cricket or football. It is said student plays either cricket or football, but not both.
ma'am,
Even if
the
you think
card
like that, okay. See, the thing is that if this type of ambiguity comes to your mind that whether this is correct or that is correct, just think simply. If the student plays either cricket or football, okay, even if I say that that is mandatory, okay, they must play at least one of these sports. Then also the step 8 is wrong. If it is not mandatory, then also the step 8 is wrong. You have to identify what is wrong. That is, they should not play both. Right? So that's the condition.
Okay, ma'am.
To make the
Ma'am,
step
also,
at correct, C plus F should be 1, either 1 or 0.
Yeah. So if it is, if we go with that thought process that it is mandatory to play either cricket or football, then C plus F should always be 1.
If in the question it's written then C plus F is equal to 1, then step it will be correct or not?
If in the question it is given, you
C
mean
plus
in
F is equal to
if it's
1.
written C plus F is equal to 1, then increment X, then it is correct.
But 0 is
ma'am,
not mentioned,
even,
na? So that will
ma'am, but
be
Yeah,
even
so
incorrect.
then it will be wrong.
zero will be correct when the student doesn't play cricket or football. So I cannot, I mean, just by the wording of the statement, I cannot say that it is
Ma'am,
wrong.
Okay,
ma'am, there is
if
a
C plus F
card.
is equal to 1, then it is a correct statement.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
but the card of Soumya that is given does not include either football or cricket. So I
Yeah,
think that,
exactly. See, so it is not mandatory that they have to play cricket or football.
ma'am, so
But
in such a
Soumya is still
case,
eligible.
yes, ma'am. So I think in such a case that
C plus
it
F will be
has
0.
to, yeah, it has to be either 0 or 1. So it should be less than 2.
Yeah. So you can take C plus F is equal to either 1 or 0, or you can say it is less than 2, strictly less than 2.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I think we cannot judge it based on the example in the photo they have given, because we have to actually filter out from all the cards of all the students.
So what I
But
can
I
tell,
understand the point.
see, what I can tell from this question is that I'm also seeing this question for the first time, so I don't know if this is an ambiguity or what. I'll discuss that once with the team. But what I think is that since the cards are given like this, right? That means there are students who don't play cricket or football. Definitely, there are such students. But our question is that is it mandatory for the student to play at least cricket or football? Or is it not? Okay, that's the ambiguity we are having. But regardless of that ambiguity, you can still solve this question because you don't need that. You just need to say that C plus F should not be 2. That is, they should not be playing 2 at once, both of them at once, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this question I will discuss and let you know whether that ambiguity, what the actual meaning is. But yeah, regardless of that, you can solve it.
Ma'am, I had a doubt in the week 1 graded assignment.
Yeah, just wait till the end of the class. I'll take it. I think this is the last question, or yeah.
Yes, ma'am, this is the last question.
Yes, ma'am, last question.
Okay, so and everyone understood all the questions, right? PA questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can we ask non-graded questions from now on?
Yes,
Ma'am,
all
can
of
you
the
please
questions.
scroll up a little?
This.
इसको डाउट ना हो जा सकते हैं
Ma'am, this question itself, that question number 11.
11. Okay. Yeah, if you don't have a doubt, you can leave. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Regarding this question, in the top line of the question, it is written that some kind of course is going on. So if a student doesn't play any game, so he shouldn't be participating, isn't it? So the condition should be C plus F equal to 1.
C plus F equal to 1 will only happen when the person is interested in playing cricket or football, any one of them, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah,
but
so
here it is written that some kind of sports festival is going on. So a person who is not playing anything should not be participating, isn't it? So
it is written that she wants to send her students to participate in an inter-college sports, right? So here we can assume that she is sending all her students. So she has made a card for every student.
okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, if in step
is there
at it
any
is written as C plus F is equal to 0.
Yeah. So if it is written C plus F is equal to 0,
yes,
then there will be an ambiguity because we don't know that whether it is mandatory for a student to play either one of the sports or not. Okay. So
then
for that
step
only
it
I
will be
said
incorrect.
we can't say for sure. If it is not mandatory, then it can be correct. So this thing, let me just ask whoever has created the question, then I'll let you know.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Now tell me
Ma'am,
which
is there any
graded
I have a
assignment.
doubt in the.
Ma'am, can you please
Second
discuss
week,
our questions
the
from the graded
non-graded
assignment?
assignment number 1, question number 2.
Ma'am, I have a doubt
Non-graded
in the
assignment.
week 1 graded assignment.
Okay, just hang on. Let me clear this person's doubt first. Okay, activity question you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Please,
Yes, ma'am, the non-graded assignment number 2,
3.1.
it was a bit confusing by the language. The language was a bit confusing, so I want some directions.
Wait, let me open the portal. Week 1, activity 1.1. Okay. Yeah, which one?
Not week 1, week
Week
2.
3.
Week
Week
2.
3. Week
Week
3,
2,
ma'am.
sorry.
Just one
Week
by one,
2,
please. I am also very
non-graded,
confused.
activity 1.
Wait. One by one. Yeah. Week 2, activity 1.
kita kalah kan? अच्छा.
Okay.
Question number 2. The language is a bit confusing.
So it is regarding this flowchart. Let me see the flowchart once.
Ma'am, can you speak a bit louder? The voice is very low.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read the flowchart once. Wait. Use the following flowchart that was used at the end of the lecture. Okay. I don't remember the exact lecture. So
And this
found
is the flowchart. You can do with this.
Okay, so found is false initially, then you have a decision box, another card, and not found. What does this decision box do? I don't remember the exact
Ma'am, this is
lecture.
basically filtering. So this was filtering within the loop itself. So the condition, instead of just being another card, is now another card and not found.
Okay,
Like
okay,
not
okay.
of found. Yeah.
So if not of found and another card, right? If both are correct,
Yeah,
that is
because
not of found has to be
if
true
the
also.
yeah, if the correct card is found, then found will become true and not of found will become false. So then the loop will terminate.
Okay, got it. So if both are true, then you come to this yes and correct card, you check. Yes, then found is true. Why is from found there is a no? Okay, this no is from this decision box. Okay, decision box no, then you go pick another card. All right. What is question 2 saying? Consider the first decision box used in the above flowchart. After a certain number of steps in the iteration, the flow transfers to the no branch. Okay. Which of the following situations are possible at this stage of the program's execution? Okay. So after a certain number of points, flow transfers to no branch. So where is the flow transferring to no branch?
When no cards found and found is true.
When found is true, right? When found is true.
It can come in two cases, ma'am. When found is true or
exactly
the cards are
Ma'am, it can
empty.
happen in 3 cases, when either found is true or the cards are over, or both the cards are over and found is true.
Exactly. So there are two different boxes, right? Two decision box, so two no branches are there, first of all. First no branch is when there are no more cards, right? If there are no more
Ma'am,
cards, then
the
you can
question
directly
is
stop.
referring to the first condition.
This first decision box, right? Another card and not found.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So when will this go to the no branch? When there are no more cards. That is one.
Yes, ma'am.
Another one can be when found is true. So not of found will be false.
Yes,
Is this
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing, what can happen? What is the third condition?
Ma'am, if found is true and the cards are over.
So first one can be the variable found stores the value true, right? And some cards have not been read. That means there are still cards, but found is true. So not of found is false. Since you are joining both the conditions with an and, that means both have to be true. Otherwise, it will be false and you will have to go to no branch. So one condition is that if found is true, but there are still cards in the data set. In that case also it will be the no branch because not of true is false. Again, if found is true, but every card has been read, that is there are no more cards. So both conditions are not meeting, right? So both are invalid conditions. So false and false will obviously give false. So again, you go to the no branch. Third condition is when found stores the value false and all cards have been read. So these are the three possible conditions for which I can go to this no branch, the first decision box no branch, right?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Is this the doubt?
Well, just why is the second option incorrect? And why the
So if
why the
found,
first one is correct?
so if found stores the value false, right? What is not of false? True. And some cards have not been read. That means there is another card that you can read. So both conditions are true. This is joined by an AND operator, right? If both are true, then AND will give true. You will go to the yes branch. You are taking not of found. So not of false will always be true. And there are still cards left to read. So there will be another card. So both are true.
And so the not found
So the
in the
second
first
one is
decision
true as
box
well.
is representing
Okay,
true.
just why the second one is not
Wait.
correct?
One by one. Second
Why
one is
the
not
second one
correct.
is not correct? Huh?
You want to see when it goes to the no branch. No branch, right? So when will it go to the no branch? When these three conditions are
Card is
correct.
not found.
First, option A, option C, option D. Now, definitely then if you go to option B, then it is going to the yes branch. That's why it is not correct. Why is it going to the yes branch? Because both conditions are true. In AND operator, if you see the truth table of AND operator, then it only gives true when both conditions are true. If I write A and B, then A and B both have to be true in order for the whole thing to be true and go to the yes branch. So here, what are your two conditions, A and B? A is what? That there are more cards in the pile. B is that found is false because we are taking not of false. So that is true. So if both are true, then you go to the yes branch. That's why it is not your answer. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in the graded assignment of week 1.
Graded week 1. Okay.
Ma'am,
The
question number.
deadline is over, right?
Yes, ma'am. The deadline is over.
Let me open it once. Question number?
9.
SARS once told that the marks will be added to us. The question have mistakes. So, but till now we don't get that marks.
Piyush sir told?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Teacher,
Okay, then it
sir
will be
once.
added. I think there is some mistake here, no?
Yes, ma'am. In that date of birth correction, we don't get that form.
Ma'am,
can
you
please
have
tell what is
decoded
the
the
correct
question.
answer?
Oh, okay. Wait. Sorry. This is the previous term question, right? So this term, some new questions are added. One second, let me open the portal and check.
If someone has confirmation from sir, can you please tell the correct answer? What is the correct option?
In the previous class, told that we will get that marks.
I was not present in the previous class. Do you know the
Okay, you
answer?
have the recording, right? You can just go through the recording once, or let's check here. Yeah, May 25. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen
Oh, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
now?
No, ma'am.
Check now, please. I'm sharing.
Yes, ma'am. We
Yes.
can see it now.
Okay, graded assignment 1. This one. Number 9, right? This is the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in this, the correct option is given as row 1 and row 8. While row 8 is correct because the total cannot be 398, but row 1 cannot be correct. I mean, row 1, the
Row
card.
1 is saying incorrect data type of card number. But
Card
card number
date.
can be 1.
Yes, ma'am. That's the question error. Sir in the previous class told that we will get the marks.
Okay. But accepted answer is just row 8, right?
But date of birth, we
Ma'am,
don't get the
actually,
format
row
too,
4
ma'am.
is also incorrect. The data
Row
sheet has
4 is
different value.
saying
Ma'am, it's
row
not
4 is
incorrect. We don't get that data set format in the question.
no.
So
You
as
don't need
per
to
the
check the data actually. You just need the format, right? Just so this is a
yes,
valid data.
But
Row 4 is fine.
Ma'am, sir
but
have
in the lecture
discussed
it is not that, ma'am. In the
Hello.
lecture, date of birth format is not like this. So, sir
Ma'am,
told.
sir have discussed this.
Okay, okay. Okay. So what is the conclusion? So everyone is getting marks for this or what?
Everyone is getting marks for this, ma'am.
Okay.
Because the incorrect
Ma'am,
data
so can I
type of
ask
card
this
number.
representative? Is row 4 and row 8 the correct solution?
Row 8 is wrong, definitely, because total marks cannot be greater than 300, right? 3 subjects are there. So maximum you can score up to 300. So 398 is out of range. Row
And
6,
is row 4 in the final solution?
row 4, the date of birth format is different in the data set. So you can just check the data set for the.
Ma'am, in the data set, the year is not included. So the format of the date of birth is simply
Yeah,
like,
so it's just month and day, right?
yeah, it's
Yes,
just
ma'am.
day and month in string format. And in this case, it's not given. I
It's
mean,
like 30th December, something like
yeah,
that,
it's
right?
30th December. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, this is then it's not correct. Then row 4 is not correct. Is it said that this is from scores data set? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Nah,
ma'am.
then it is wrong.
Another thing is that the exact card that this corresponds to, in that the date of birth is not even 30th December, so it's something else entirely. So I
No,
think that
that is all right. The main thing is here we have just taken some example card that we've made. So the date of birth thing is wrong. Obviously, if you're following a certain pattern, it shouldn't break that.
ma'am, but the thing
In
is
the
that
in the feedback we can say that incorrect date type of card number, but date type of card number is integer and it is valid. But as per the feedback, it is saying that it is
No, in your portal, what are the accepted answers?
ma'am,
in
row
row
1
1
and row
and
8.
row 8, ma'am. Row 1
Row 1
incorrect
and
date
row
type
8.
of. Yes, ma'am.
No, only row 8 is wrong. Nothing
In
else.
your portal, ma'am. Do you wanna?
Ma'am, but in
You wanna
our
Ma'am,
explain?
could you please discuss 3.1, please?
Only row 4 is.
No, week 3 I'm not discussing today, no? I told you in the beginning. So
Ma'am, only option 4 is correct.
yeah, only option, this last option is wrong. Okay, this row 8 is the one which is not same data.
But in
And
our
this
portal,
row
it is
4 also.
showing row 1 is also accepted answers, ma'am. As
What
per the
Ma'am, in my
feedback.
portal, it's showing.
Okay,
Ma'am,
let me check
in my
once, but
portal, it's showing only row 4.
only row 4.
Option 4. No, ma'am, option 4.
Option 4, like me, right? Anyways, this
Yes,
is
ma'am,
also a
right.
typo. I mean, this should be row 8. This an ampersand is given here. Let me ask what
Ma'am,
is wrong
but
with this.
what about row 4? Is row 4 also incorrect?
No, if
Because
row 4 is incorrect because this is not the format we are following, right? We are following
yeah,
just the day and month format. This is also not correct if we go for the sports data set format.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So everyone is
All
getting
right,
marks
thank you,
for
ma'am.
this, I hope. Yeah.
Ma'am, from till which assignments are you taking queries?
We'll do till week 2 practice assignment. Okay. Practice we just discussed. So you can ask week 1 any question you want and week 2 activity questions you can ask for practice.
Ma'am, I had a question in activity questions 2.6 second question. If you haven't discussed it, then
2.6, right? Okay.
yeah.
First tell me
Ma'am,
week 1, anyone has any more question?
ma'am, this yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay, wait, let me ask one by one. Week 1
Yes, ma'am.
activity. Anyone has a question? Activity.
Yes, ma'am. How the incorrect data type of card number? This option is correct.
No, data type of card number is correct. It is integer only.
In our portal, it is showing it is also an accepted answer, ma'am. As per the
Could be
feedback.
wrong. Could be some kind of wrong configuration on
So,
their end.
ma'am,
It's correct.
everybody gets marks for
Everybody
this.
gets marks for this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Any
this
other
is an
activity
office
question
assignment.
doubt in week 1?
Question number 2.
I have a general doubt.
Just let me come one by one. Okay. Otherwise, I'll get confused. So, activity which? Tell me 1 point.
Gold medal.
Graded assignment 1, question number 2.
Activity, no doubts then. I won't come back to this. Okay. So, we are going to graded assignment week 1. Okay. This is graded assignment. Tell me which question?
Question number 2. Ma'am, in the step 5.
Okay.
In the
Question
step
number
5,
2.
the 250 is not included in the.
Every single term we get this question from students. See, first, what is asked of you here? What will values of A, B, and C be after the execution of following procedure, right? You have to arrange all cards in a everyone mute, please. Arrange all cards in pile 1. Initialize variables. Who is this person? Okay. Initialize variables A, B, and C to 0, right? If pile 1 is empty, stop iteration, read the top card. Step 5 is saying if the total of the card is greater than 250, you increment A. If total is greater than 200, less than 250, you increment B. If total is less than 200, you increment C. Okay. Now question 2 is asking what the value of B is. Now for this, obviously you have to go to the data set.
Yes,
and
ma'am,
check.
but is 250 is included in B?
Why will 250 be included in B? 250, what is the range? It is greater than 200, less than 250. 250
Ma'am,
is
if
not
we
included
include
anywhere.
250, then answer is 15. If we not included 250, then answer is 14. But the answer is given is
Ma'am,
15.
but the instructions are clear, so we won't be including 250 now in
No,
that
you
case.
won't be including 250.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
I
but the
mean
answer
the
is a 15.
So you have checked in the data set, it is coming out to be 14 without the 250 card.
Yes, without the 250 cards, answer is 14. But the answer given is a 15.
Okay, let me let me note this. I have to ask you, sir. So have you told Piyush sir about this issue?
ma'am, in my case,
Ma'am, this
the
is
second
correct, ma'am.
answer ma'am, it is correct because the answer was also 15 without taking the value to 50,
Yeah, that's
and
what,
it
because
is
we
also
use this question we have
Yes,
used this
ma'am.
question in
yeah,
previous
answer
terms
is
ma'am,
also.
the answer is correct for this question, ma'am.
Okay, I'll also check on my end still once, but I think it is correct because this is an old question.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, just recheck once. If you're getting 14, just recheck. Maybe you're missing some card. Okay.
Ma'am, once see the fifth question, ma'am.
Fifth question. This one.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
This is Olympics
Which is,
data set. Okay, so you
which
know
answer is
Olympics data set?
yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, why is it given twice? Its configuration is not
Ma'am, it's
correct,
given twice.
but it is the same code, right? Which is repeated, I think. Yeah, same code is repeated.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay, so let's
repeated.
just check. So it is saying what is the following procedure at the end of execution? Following procedure Olympics dataset. What will count return? So first you arrange all the cards in a single pile. Then you maintain variable count and initialize it to 0. So count is 0 initially. If pile 1 is empty, then stop the iteration, return count. That means as soon as your pile 1 is exhausted, you will return the count variable. That is whatever is stored in count. Otherwise, you pick a card. You check if the gender of the card is male, nationality is not China, and medal is gold. Here an equal sign is missed because medal should be assigned gold, but okay. If medal is gold, then increment count by 1. Okay. So what is count? Count will only be counting those athletes who are male, not from China, but have won gold. So which one? Number of male participants who won gold other than those having nationality China. Because all of these conditions are joined by and, right? So if all of them are true, only then count is incremented by 1. So option C is correct. Okay. Any other question from graded 1?
Question 7.
7. This. Okay. What will the given procedure compute and store in variable X if executed on shopping bills dataset? Assume that there are total of 3 shops in the dataset. MCQ. Okay. So there are actually 3 shops, right? So we have to find out what is X storing. So first to arrange all cards in pile 1, maintain 4 variables A, B, C, and X, initialize all of them to 0. If pile 1 is empty, stop iteration and start from step 9. That
Ma'am,
is
I
you
only
update
want to
the
know why is option A is not correct.
Y is option.
A is not correct.
Okay, let me just go through the question. I also don't remember. I have to solve it. So if pile 1 is empty, stop iteration, start from 9. Read the top card otherwise. If it is a If it is from SV stores and customer name is Niraja, then set A equal to 1, Big Bazaar, then B equal to 1, Sun General, then C equal to 1. Okay. Move the current card to another file called file 2, repeat from step 3. So basically, we are not incrementing anything. I think we are not incrementing anything, right?
Okay.
So every time, basically, you are going through the entire pile of cards. Obviously, Niraja is a customer who might have gone to more than one store. So there might be more than one cards for her. Okay. Now let's say she has gone to SV stores and Big Bazaar. So how many variables are set to 1, A and B? So at the end of execution, you update X. X is A plus B plus C. So X will be 1 plus 1 plus 0 if she has not gone to Sun General. Then X is 2. So it is number of distinct stores which Niraja has visited. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Any other question from this graded assignment?
you. Ma'am, एक general question.
Yeah.
Is there any group for announcement or like that anything?
Group. There is a Google forum.
Ma'am, can you repeat the
Sorry.
question?
Which one?
यही वाला तो अभी आप जो समझा रहे थे
Yeah,
yes
this na?
yeah
Okay. See, this is from shopping bills dataset, right? So we have to find out what variable X is storing. So we have to assume that there are total 3 shops in the dataset. One is SV stores, one is Big Bazaar, one is Sun General. So first we arrange all cards in pile 1. Okay. We maintain 4 variables A, B, C and X and all are initialized to 0. If pile 1 is empty, then you stop the iteration. But since your first iteration, obviously pile 1 has cards, so you read the top card. You check. In step 5, you check if shop name is SV stores and customer name is Niraja. Then you set the variable A equal to 1. Okay. Now let's say you picked another card where the shop name is Big Bazaar and customer name is Niraja. Then you set B equal to 1. If in another card you see Sun General shop name and Niraja is the customer name, then C is equal to 1. Right? Like this, we'll go through the entire data set. So A, B, and C is representing what? If A is equal to 1, then we know that Niraja has visited SB stores. If B is equal to 1, we know she has also visited Big Bazaar. If C is 1, we know she has also visited Sun General. Okay. So X at the end of execution, we will update X as A plus B plus C. So whatever is that sum is what? How many distinct stores Niraja has visited? Okay.
yeah
Yeah. Which other question from this assignment? Okay. Week 2, any questions?
Ma'am,
Yes,
in week
ma'am.
2, activity 2.6, if you could answer the second question.
2.6. Okay. This one, right?
Yeah, ma'am, the second one.
Okay. Consider a new version of paragraph words dataset that has 100 words in it. Then you assume that we have figured out the counts of all unique words in this dataset in one iteration. After this, we initialize a variable called max and set it to 0. So what is this max variable used? This is used to find the count of the most frequently occurring word. Okay, so basically, first of all, we now have a new version of paragraph words dataset which has 100 words in it. And we now know what are all the unique words and how many frequency for each, right? That is how many times each unique word has occurred. That also we know. Now we have a new variable called max which is set to 0. What is this max used to find? It is used to find the count of the most frequently occurring word. Okay. We now perform a second iteration over the unique words in any order to compute the final value of max. That means we want to find how many how many most frequently occurring words are there. Let's say the most frequently occurring word is a word that occurs 10 times. So how many such words are there which occur 10 times? That is what we want to find and store in max.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we perform the second iteration over only the unique words to compute the value of max. So question 2 is asking the final value of max is 6. So how many times was it updated during the course of the program? Max was started with 0. So every time you find a max frequency, right, you have to update.
Yes, ma'am.
So what can I say about it? How many times was max updated? It was definitely updated 6 times, that I know. But could be
Yeah.
more.
No, ma'am. I don't think it could be
I'm sorry,
more
could
than.
be less. I meant could be less, right?
Yeah. Now
Because
I got the point, ma'am. I was thinking exactly 6 times, but it could be at most 6 times
it could be at
because
most.
yeah,
Yes,
because you can take a 4 and then a 6 directly without taking 5
correct.
of it. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other question, activity? Week 2?
Ma'am, I have a doubt from activity 2.1.
2.1.
Yes, ma'am, the last three and question number 4. 3 and question number 4.
This at the end of execution, variable found stores the value true. How many times was it updated? This question I don't remember exactly what this question was about. So what you can do is, I think activity questions are separately discussed in last few sir's lecture. So that thing you can check once, because I don't want to tell you something that I don't correctly remember. Because for this I
Okay,
have to
ma'am.
watch the lecture. Okay. So if you want, you can check out that previous video, or next class I will just watch the lecture once, then I can tell you what it is. Okay, I don't
Okay,
exactly.
ma'am.
Okay, question 4 is also from the same thing. Found false. Okay, if there are 10 cards that satisfy the condition for the correct card, what will be the value of variable count at the end of execution? Let's check. 1. Okay. So count is incremented once. Uh, 10 cards that satisfy the condition for correct card. So correct card, yes. Found true. Okay, once found is true, then because see, once found is set to true, right? If you find the correct card, the first correct card that you find, found will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
right. After that, you go to the again the first decision box. Once found is set to true, then not found will always be what? False.
False.
So that means you cannot come to this decision box again. You have to go to no and then stop. Right.
Okay. That's
That,
why the answer is 1.
yeah, because no matter how many correct cards you have, only the first one is the one you will count. After that, found will become true and it will never be set to false again. So it will always be not of found will always be false. So you'll go to the no hand.
Okay, ma'am. I understood. Thank you.
Just this question 3, you check out Piyush sir's lecture once. I think he has covered this.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Anything else? Anyone?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in activity 2.3, ma'am. First question.
2.3. This one.
First question, ma'am.
This one, right? Suppose we wish to find shortest sentence.
Yes, ma'am. Explain it once.
So suppose we wish to find shortest sentence in paragraph words dataset. We decide to use two variables. We want to find the shortest sentence, right? Now we have two variables, minimum and count, that keep track of the length of shortest sentence so far and the length of the current sentence. So it is like the question we discussed in today's assignment. So which is a valid initialization for minimum? So what did I say? For minimum, you have to take a very high value, right? Like for maximum, we start with 0. For minimum, you have to take a high value, which means you can start with 10,000 value. Because word count cannot be more than that for a sentence, right?
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Just start with the highest possible value. Yeah. Next. Any other question from Vic?
Earlier about the not found one. Can you please explain it once again? I could not understand.
Which one?
In activity 1, the not found operation.
Activity 1.1.
2.1.
2.1. Okay. This first question.
What is the meaning of the not found option?
Not of found. So found is a Boolean variable, right? It either contains true or false. So let's say if initially it contains false, right? Found is set to false in the first process box. Then you come to the depletion box. So not of false will be what? True.
True.
When something is not false, it is true. Similarly, when something is not true, it is false. So not of found is depending on what is found. Okay.
So, ma'am, if another card is left and the condition is true, then it should
If another
proceed with
another
yes.
card is left, right? If another card is left in the pile and found is true, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, so it should proceed with the yes branch then because both
No,
are satisfying.
it will proceed with no branch. If found is true, then what is not of found?
False. Okay. So whatever is
No
input, it
branch.
will make its
Reverse
opposite,
it.
and then
Yeah.
we have to check.
Not is just the negation.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? All right. I'll stop sharing then. You can still ask your doubts in the next class also. I think we'll start week 3 next class. So that's on
I
Friday.
have to ask one thing.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in my stats graded assignment, all answers are correct, but the score it's showing is 95.
That I'm not sure. You can ask any of the stat instructors. Maybe they'll know.
Okay, ma'am.
Actually, you may
Yes,
be
ma'am. I
have
also have a
one or
same
two
issue.
questions which have partial answers. You may have got one
Yeah,
mark.
maybe from MSQ some marks is deducted. That you can ask your stat instructors. Okay, you can ask in the class. That's okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, if you want the questions for practice, so from where we can get
Practice.
practice?
Usually I would say whatever is there on the portal, the activity and practice and graded assignments is enough for CT. But if you want to practice, then I think there is a book also given in the course orientation or something. Somewhere the book link is given. Okay, it is a book by Professor Madhavan Mukund only. So you can also download the PDF for that book and follow. So I think there are questions there. Or you can take the previous year questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, everyone, you can leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Has the class ended?